So, I just wanted to speak to what I saw at the hearing for JFK, which was today. It's available if you haven't seen it on X. You can see it on or through a post from Anna Paulina Luna. She has it up on her X account. So, I think it's quite interesting what we saw happen in that Congress hearing. It was kind of insane, actually. And I don't know if anyone else has watched it yet that's, been posting about it, but it was hilarious what the obvious Democrats. I see. I don't know everyone in Congress. I don't know which side all of them are on, but I'm starting to get to know the sides of the ones who are actually fighting for truth. And funnily enough, those are on the Republican side. And don't get me wrong, I do know of Democrats. I don't know of Democrats, but I know that Democrats are fighting also for disclosure and the purpose of these meetings to be had, and for them to actually have these meetings. Like, there's Democrats who are fully on board with this. But it was hilarious to see certain people in there try to bring up stuff that was absolutely, had nothing to do with JFK's assassination. Like, it was all about what had happened in the assassination, like what actually happened at that time. And here you have these people bringing up just random shit that didn't need to be there, and it was just they used it for grounds to speak about an issue with Trump that they had. I was like, what is happening here when I was watching it? So ridiculous. So yeah, I did watch a bit of that. I did skip through some of it. But yeah, it was just so stupid what they were doing, and these people couldn't even stay on task. I'm talking about these other people that they just went off the rails with Trump related, what's the opposite of pro? For pro-Trump, I don't know what the opposite is. I can't think of it at the moment, but they were against Trump. That's what I want to say. So they're against him, and it was very, very obvious. And they were just bringing up these things that was just anti, that's what I'm looking for. Anti-Trump statements just to make him sound like a bad guy in this hearing. And Doge as well. Doge was mentioned. How does that remotely even relate to this issue, or the JFK issue, is what I'm saying? How does that remotely relate? It does not. It does not. Jeez. Anyway, the important stuff is that some of the Republicans, who I do know now, they are Republicans, after following a few of them, like Tim Burchett, classic voice crack, happens to me all the time, and Anna Paulina Luna, and Mike Burleson. Is it Mike? I think it's Mike Burleson. I forget now. I just did a video on him. I should remember his name. I think they're all Republicans, and they stayed on task. They didn't, add any random stuff to it. It was very, very specific, on point. Okay, there's a couple takeaways from the hearing. Number one, we now realize, and it's very abundant through a ton of data that's come out with these files, that the CIA had a huge involvement in some capacity. Two, the video they mentioned that NBC is holding has been suggested to go and, suggested to the Congress people, the task force actually, to go and try and collect that somehow, or subpoena NBC. Was it NBC? ABC? I think it's NBC, right? NBC they told them to subpoena that. It was a suggestion to do that. And then number three, we also realized that there are more documents still, perhaps hundreds, according to Morley. Jefferson Morley, I believe his name is. There are documents still relating to JFK that are or have not been released. And they perhaps may not have been attributed to this JFK issue due to perhaps the classification of the documents, and perhaps people in the Congress or the task force did not know what to ask for. That could be a possibility, so they didn't know really what documents they needed, or it's being hidden. But see, I wouldn't put it past now the CIA to be hiding them, because the fourth takeaway is, not only was the CIA heavily involved in this situation in some capacity, but they also lied multiple times, 3 times at least, in a setting where it is perjuring yourself to lie. At hearings, I believe they were. And they just try and say, let me get back to you when someone subpoenas information or says, hey, give us this information. Is there any reason why we should not release this? Let me get back to you about that. And then they never do. So they just try and circumvent the system because of their ranking power that they have. This is happening through all of this stuff. The Epstein stuff, the UFO stuff, especially the UFO stuff. It's happening with tons and tons of everything. It's out of control. And this is really, it sucks for me to say this, but it's really only the beginning. This is only the surface. We think we're actually getting somewhere, but we're getting somewhere, but in reality, we've only just started this. As in, like, there's way, way more to come and be revealed.